Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, October 18th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW ratings news. Dynamite this week drew an audience of 633,000 to TBS, according to Programming Insider. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .20. Viewership experienced a sharp increase from last Tuesday's rescheduling of the show, which drew only 329,000 viewers and a demo rating of just .10. This week's episode finished in 6th place in the demographic for the evening on cable TV. TNA Wrestling presented Impact last night on Access TV, featuring matches taped October 2nd and 3rd in Nashville. In the main event, TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth defeated Matt Cardona, partly due to a distraction from PCO. After the match, Nemeth was attacked by Frankie Kazarian until Joe Hendry, who was Nemeth's Bound for Glory opponent, made the save.
Now, Frankie...
and Frankie Kazarian assaulting Nick Nemeth from behind!
Adding a message here. Kaz was saying he's going to be part of the world title match at Bound for Glory.
I don't know what he's talking about. He's lost his mind.
Well, speaking of a title match, there's your #1 contender.
Joe Hendry backing up Nick Nemeth. Plenty of history between Kazarian, Hendry, and Nemeth.
Kazarian then announced he would be the special referee for their upcoming match. X-Division champion Speedball Mike Bailey retained against Leon Slater. It was also announced that Bailey's challenger for Bound for Glory would be El Hijo del Vikingo. During an in-ring promo segment, Steve Maclin called out Josh Alexander and was laid out by an attack from both Alexander and the Northern Armory. In other results, Rhino beat PCO and Ash by Elegance defeated Brinley Reese. After the match, Zaya Brookside made the save when Ash continued her assault on Reese. In more TNA news, both Rhino and Bob Ryder have been announced as the latest inductees into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Rhino held the NWA World title while it was under the auspices of TNA Wrestling and is also a two-time former Impact World Tag Team Champion. The late Bob Ryder, who passed away in 2020, was a co-founder of TNA Wrestling. His posthumous induction is scheduled to be accepted by Eric Young. The inductions will take place the weekend of Bound for Glory later this month in Detroit. Ring of Honor streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped October 8th in Spokane, Washington, and on October 3rd in Toledo, Ohio. In the main event, ROH World Women's Champion Athena defeated Lady Frost in a non-title proving ground match. Since winning the championship in December of 2022, 35 of Athena's 55 singles matches have been non-title. Commander defeated Willie Mack on the show to earn a shot at the ROH World TV title. In other results, AR Fox defeated Jack Cartwheel, Atlantis Jr. beat John Cruz, Nick Wayne beat Brian Cook, Yuka Sakazaki defeated Viva Van, the MXM Collection topped Midnight Heat, and the Spanish Announce Project went over Derek Dillinger and Ron Jones. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.